The parable of the workers in the vineyard seems to be a shock to our sensibilities.
How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Hello and welcome to Divya Vachan, the Sunday Scripture Reflection Series. We have Reverend Father Franky Carvalho bringing the good news to us. This episode is a reflection for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Matthew. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with the laborers for the usual daily wage, he sent them into his vineyard. When he went out about 9 o'clock, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and he said to them, "You also go into the vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." So they went. When he went out again about noon, and about 3 o'clock he did the same. And about 5 o'clock he went out and found others standing around, and he said to them, "Why are you standing here idle all day?" They said to him, "Because no one has hired us." He said to them, "You also go into the vineyard." When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his manager, "Call the laborers and give them their pay, beginning with the last and then going to the first." When those hired about 5 o'clock came, each of them received the usual daily wage. Now, when the first came, they thought they would receive more. But each of them also received the usual daily wage. And when they received it, they grumbled against the landowner, saying, "These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." But he replied to one of them, "Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for that usual daily wage? Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to you this last the same as I give to you. Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first and the first will be last."
Hello friends. The gospel passage that we have just heard, the parable of the workers in the vineyard, seems to be a shock to our sensibilities. Why do I say so? Well friends, we see different groups of workers working at different times in the vineyard. Yet, at the end of the day, all of them are paid the same wage. And when we hear this, we might have exclaimed, "That's not fair." Well, is it a question of justice? I feel it is not. Because the parable says that there was no injustice done to any of the workers. So, if it is not a question of justice, then what did the workers express? Well, my dear friends, the workers who complained, in my opinion, expressed the feeling of envy. Oh, being envious? All of us, and most of the time, we do feel envious of the other. I want to have what the other has. Something has better than me, I too want it. I see someone else more blessed than me. Maybe money, posh houses, designer clothes, physical attractiveness, recognition on social media, maybe promotion at work. The list goes on. My friend, my brother, my relative, my accomplice, they have something better than me, then I feel envious. It is said, when my own friend has something more, there is something less in my heart. It is said, whenever my friend succeeds a little more, something becomes less in my heart. That is called as envy. Well, my dear friends, what does envy do to you and to me? It robs us of joy. Let's look at the parable of today. What robbed the workers of some joy in their hearts? The first thing that we notice is that only the first group of workers had a monetary agreement with the owner. The other group of workers made no agreement whatsoever. That means the owner could pay whatever amount he wished to the other group of workers. Only the first one, he had to pay what was agreed, that was 1 denarius. The second is, when he is making the payment, there is an objection from the workers who came first. And he reproaches them saying, "Take what belongs to you and go." As the sentence is framed, it seems like that the workers protested so much they were not ready to take the payment. And he reproaches them. There is a friendly reproach, but a strong one, and he says, if you don't take, the matter may become worse. So it is better you take what belongs to you and go. If we rephrase it, we can also say if the reproach is strong, he may have told them, take what belongs to you and get out of the vineyard. Don't complain. After that, there is an admonition, and he says, do you begrudge my generosity? After that, there is an admonition from the owner. He says to the workers who were complaining, are you envious because I am generous? A literal translation of the Greek would mean, is your eye evil because I am generous? Or do you begrudge my generosity? What is an evil eye? An evil eye is which seeks malice or envy in the success of others. The fourth thing is, there is a twist in the tale, and that twist is, the ones who were hired first are paid last, and the ones who were hired last are paid first. Well, my dear friends, this is exactly what Jesus says will happen in the kingdom of heaven. The last will be first, and the first will be last. Maybe he was hinting at the Pharisees, who felt that they deserved something more. They could not accept that they and the sinners and the tax collectors and the outcast could sit together, just as Jesus was advocating. Or even the disciples of Jesus might have felt that they have some preferential treatment from God. Jesus puts to rest all these ambitions. So, my dear friends, what can we learn from this parable of today? The first thing is, an easy way to diffuse envy is to find genuine happiness in the success of other people. Well, quite difficult. But as Christians, we are called to do the same, that we celebrate the success of others, that we see the bright smile on their faces. We are joyful along with the other people. The second is, don't live your life as a competition. For that, what the parable is asking us is, did you get what you worked for? If yes, then be joyful, because your joy is lost when you compare and compete with others. The third thing is, practice gratitude. To do that, it helps to look at the things you have, no matter how imperfect they may be. And finally, my dear friends, be willing and have patience. What is important to notice is that the last of the lot too were waiting all the day patiently that somebody is going to hire them, and they were rewarded for their patience. I think that's important. If you are willing and if you have patience, you too will be hired and rewarded. Well, my dear friends, envy as an emotion is very much inherent, but we can diffuse it by being happy in the success of others, by not living our life as a competition, practicing gratitude, and always being willing and having patience in our life.
Join me next Friday at 6 p.m. to experience the goodness of God.